from there we shall proceed. As you already know the topic of today's discussion, so consider it as a discussion, okay? It's not a lecture, so we will discuss. If you don't understand anything, please ask me. You can interrupt, no problem. And the lecture is about content analysis. So what is content analysis? I'm not going to teach you, but I'm going to teach you the specific methodology in content analysis, which is measuring airtime and how you can use it for conflict coverage of print media and electronic media, as well as live streaming, if it is a digital format. So for content analysis, if you want to learn the basics, there are a lot of videos available on YouTube. So this may help you. But this methodology, which is airtime allocation, it was, to our best of our knowledge, it was first developed by us. Okay, Kiafatullah, I see your hand. Let me start, and then we can.
I can start. Please increase your volume, sir.
Okay, you cannot hear. Is it fine right now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so this methodology to measure conflict coverage with measuring the airtime of the electronic media was first used by us. So you can say it was developed by us, and you can use it, but citing the original author. And I will give you a brief overview, and after this, we can. I will show you the article that we have published, and I can show you how we did it, and it will be very easy to understand from there. So in the article study, we wanted to see the media coverage of Eastern and Western media outlets, and we wanted to study their coverage, which was given to Nagorno-Karabakh. So if you don't know Nagorno-Karabakh, there is a place called Nagorno-Karabakh, which was a disputed place between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And there was a war in 1992, and there was a second war at the end of the pandemic, and which was won by Azerbaijan, and they reclaimed their own territory. So from Western media, we sampled BBC and DW, and from Eastern, we sampled TRT, which is a Turkish television, and Al Jazeera. As you may know, Al Jazeera is the Qatari television channel. So we wanted to see the tone, the biasness, and also the framing of their coverage to the specific issue, which was the second war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. It was a very significant time, and very significant war. But since it was the end of the pandemic, they didn't receive a lot of coverage. But still, we wanted to have a look. So in every article, you have to use some kind of theory which can guide your examination or investigation. So we used agenda setting, which is a very old established theory. For the research question, I don't think so this is very important. as I have also stated. So I would just want to talk about the last one, which is the euphemisms and euphemisms. So what is euphemisms and euphemisms? Although this is not the subject of this this discussion or lecture, if you call it a lecture, but it will be beneficial if I just put it as a side note for you guys. So euphemisms. So euphemisms and euphemisms is words and phrases that we use to describe something, either in a sugar-coated words or in a bitter words. For example, the Nagorno-Karabakh was occupied by Armenia, but BBC was using the phrase Armenia control, which is a sugar-coated word for Armenia-occupied Nagorno-Karabakh. That's how the media plays with words, right? And TRT, which is the Turkish television, and were supporting Azerbaijan. So they were using the actual word, which was Armenia-occupied Nagorno-Karabakh. For the data collection, we did chose the official channels of these TV stations because they have all the TV reports, and also they are easy to access, and also they can also be accessed at any time of inquiry or of any doubt. The reader of the article or a book can easily go back and check. In total, we analyzed, as you can see, 245 news reports. And this was more than enough, because a single report, there was some reports, it was just like 15 minutes, but there was also shorter reports. So we have covered almost all the news reports that was available, and that was published by these 4 TV channels. We were interested in looking at several themes which was emerging from the data. This is a separate topic, coding and analysis. But to brief, I will give you a brief overview of coding, how you do coding in a while, because it is the most difficult part in content analysis. At least it was a difficult part for me when I was learning content analysis first. So the themes that are displayed already on the screen. So Armenia, Azerbaijan, we wanted to see the overall coverage. And I will share the sub-themes as well in a moment. The second one was war crimes. Was there any coverage to war crimes? And if yes, what was it? How was it? And then civilian affected coverage to civilians from both sides, because there was also a humanitarian crisis on both sides. And we were also interested to see their coverage to the military forces, right? Because it was a war, and in conflict, the military is engaged. We also wanted to see the name. Sorry. So we also wanted to see the names that were used of Nagorno-Karabakh cities. So Nagorno-Karabakh is a place which has many cities, right? And these cities has different names in Armenia and Azerbaijan. So if the TV station was, leaning towards Armenia, so they would use the Armenian names for the cities inside Nagorno-Karabakh. But if the TV station was leaning towards Azerbaijan, so they will use um, the Azerbaijani or Azeri names for the cities. And I will share this with you in detail in a moment. This is also reliability. In coding, you have to make sure that your coding is reliable, and intercoder reliability or intra-coder reliability. I will teach you in a while what is intercoder reliability and intra-coder reliability. Without explicitly mentioning how you ensure intercoder reliability in content analysis, it will be very difficult for the author to publish in a very good journal, such as Q1, Q2 journals. So intercoder reliability is the most important thing in content analysis. Before questions, I want to go to the actual paper that we published. You can go and download. This is free, freely available, and I will share the title in with you guys, and you can read as many times as you want, because if you want to use this methodology, it will be very easy for you to do content analysis of any conflict. All right. Even you can use the same methodology for print media. Okay. So instead of airtime in print media, you will measure space in print media, right? Not airtime. So you can use the same coding and the same process for print and both electronic media. So this was the question, as I have already shared with you. This is the generic content analysis, how we do content analysis and how do we ensure the importance of content analysis, coding process, and so on and so forth. So every article has a generic content, a generic paragraph about the methodology. So this was the coding. So this is important. I wanted to teach you this. If you learn this, you already learned the methodology. So there are two types of themes. These are our themes. There are two types of themes: inductive themes and deductive themes. So there are some presupposed themes that we have in our mind. We already know it from our experience reading data or research, the research that we even take before the actual research, or pilot studies. And there are themes that we came to know after looking at the data, right? So I always do inductive and inductive coding at the same time. So I have some themes, and then I'm open to themes that develops later when I am collecting the data, when I'm analyzing the data. So this was the themes which I have also talked about just a while ago. So overall airtime to Azerbaijan, we wanted to see what is the overall airtime, and then the overall airtime to Armenia, and these has also sub-themes I will share with you in a while. And then airtime to Azerbaijan, Azerbaijani war crimes, and airtime to Armenia war crime, and so on and so forth. Now we had 3 coders. So there are 2 type of coding, okay? Intercode coding reliability. So inter-coder reliability and intra-coder reliability. In inter-coder reliability, you have to have different coders. They should be either researchers, PhD students, professors, but they should have a good knowledge of content analysis and they should know how to do it. They cannot be just a layman, okay? So we recruited 3 coders, right? And this is the hypothetical table that I have put it in our methodology to explain the process, the way we did the coding. So the first coder, let's suppose the first, and out of these 3 coders, 2 should be in agreement, right? So if 2 coders are in agreement, for example, they are looking at the data, the overall airtime to Azerbaijan, or the airtime to Armenian crimes, and let's suppose the coder 1 is saying that, okay, this looks like a airtime that is more focused on war crimes to Armenia, right? And if the other coder also agree with the first coder, then we put yes here, right? So if both of the coder do not agree, or 2 of the coders out of 3 do not agree, then we put no here, right? And then we have to calculate the final agreement and disagreement between the coders. And this is done in pilot study normally if the study is very large. And then we develop code book after this. And in the code book, we explain how did we do the coding. And this is also guide the coders for coding. If you have any question in this coding part, this is little bit difficult, but I'm trying to make it easier for you. But if you don't understand this part, it is completely normal because it was difficult first time for me as well, and I had a lot of questions. But if you go and download this paper and read the methodology again and again, then it will be very easy for you to understand. Now with this coding and content analysis, we also did frequency analysis, but this is not the topic today, right? So frequency analysis is something that is different than content analysis, and it should be discussed in a very separate time and topic. So I think this will explain to you more about the coding, the way we did the coding and the way the coders helped us. So you can see the overall airtime, right, to the Second Nagorno-Karabakh War to Armenian side. So the total news reports, these are the themes, the major themes that we had. So we had total news reports, and TRT has extensively covered among all these 4 TV channels the war, and the total airtime was 5 hours. And if I'm not mistaken, the war lasted for 44 days, and in these 44 days, the total airtime was 5 hours. So it was a major, significant airtime. I mean, they extensively covered. Going to the sub-themes. So this is the sub-themes, okay? Airtime given to war crimes of both countries. Now you can see the sub-themes in as well. Airtime given to Armenian war crimes and airtime given to Azerbaijani war crimes. And the coder measured it through the process that I have just explained to you. And it was the again TRT, of course, because they extensively covered. So it was TRT that has focused on Armenian war crimes, but then they did not focus on Azerbaijani war crimes at all, right? And it was Al Jazeera was the most neutral, because they gave 13 minutes to 13-minute coverage to Armenian war crimes and 12 to Azerbaijani war crimes. So we wanted to see the airtime that was given. Why we want to see? You can ask the question, the airtime, because the airtime can highlight and downplay the importance of any issue. If it is highlighted more, if it is given an airtime more, then automatically it will be highlighted, just like the Rohingya issue, right? Some countries, the Rohingya issue was not very covered. Like they were not highlighting it as they were highlighting or they are highlighting the Ukraine war. I have a book on Ukraine war, and there is a major problem in airtime coverage or airtime, or even the tone of these different TV channels. For example, the Iraq war was justified by the Western media normally, and they used security frames for the refugees, for the Iraqi refugees and the Syrian refugees, and they did the same for the Rohingya refugees as well. So they were seeing them as a security threat, even for the Afghan refugees as well. But last time when I was in Europe, Ukrainian refugees are everywhere, and every country is full of Ukrainian refugees. I'm not against the Ukrainian refugees. I'm just highlighting the media coverage, the double standard of the media. But the media highlighted very favorably the Ukrainian refugees. Even some media channels and the reporters were trying to sympathize with the refugees, which is a good thing. But you need to sympathize with all of the refugees, not only specific refugees. So that's why we were interested in looking at the airtime, because it can downplay the issue, or it can highlight the issue, or it can highlight one part and downplay another part, just like TRT did. TRT focused on the Armenian war crimes, but they did not focus and they did not give any airtime to Azerbaijani war crimes, because Turkey has a very good relation with Azerbaijan. And similarly, DW also focused very less on Azerbaijan, but it was not because of some biasness or something. It's because their if you look closely this airtime, their coverage was more favorable. You know, the airtime, they were defending the war crimes, DW of Armenia, and that was a major disagreement between the coders as well. All right, another major important issue that I forget to tell you: the coders should be blind. They shouldn't know each other, right? And they shouldn't. So it is you that you have to check their coding, right? When they do the coding, and you have to compare their coding. So if both of if two of the coders agree, then it's fine. Then you can go ahead with the with their coding criteria and themes. And this was also civilians. So we were interested in looking at civilians. Again, you can see TRT has not given any, you know, it's just like none to zero air coverage to Armenian side, but there was a lot of refugees on the Armenian side. Civilians, you know, we may be biased about the country and the government, but civilians are civilians at the end of the day. And they suffers on both sides, right? Similarly, it was the same for DW, and they completely ignored the Azerbaijani side. So
DW, what is that? DW?
So it is a TV channel, Deutsche Welle, of Germany, which is very famous, just like BBC.
Okay. It's based in Germany.
Yeah, it is based in Germany, and
Okay.
yeah. So in nutshell, to teach you how to measure the airtime, you have to go collect the data. For example, collect the news reports, right? And then you have to recruit coders. If you are doing intercoder coding, I will teach you intra coding, since it is not the topic of this discussion, but I will teach you in a brief. So you have to recruit three coders, and you have to give them themes, right? That they are gonna look, and it is called a code book. So you have to give them a specific criteria, just like we did. We gave them several themes. Here you can see the themes, and we asked them to measure the airtime, and they will do it for you. They will measure the airtime, and then you have to tally their measurement, contrast, compare. If they are, if two of the coders coding or measurement is very similar, they shouldn't be 100% the same, because it is not possible, because you are measuring airtime. So some might say, some might measure it like 30 seconds, 30 minutes and 15 seconds. Some might measure it 30 minutes or 10 seconds. So the 5 second doesn't matter, right? And we already explained that the margin of error was 2 minutes for us. Okay, so if they are not differing more than 2 minutes, then we consider it an agreement between the coders, right? So if they are, just a minute. So if they are in agreement with each other, then you come up with the final, how can we say, interreliability, right? So for us, the final means, I hope you know how to do the means. If you cannot, if you just Google it, you will find out how to calculate the means. So the hypothetical means here, it is, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 agreements and 3 disagreements, right? And it means 62% of their coding is reliable. It's matching with each other, and 37% doesn't match. It means it's not a very good intercoder reliability, but this is a hypothetical one. So in the original coding that we did, it was 83%, just like here as we mentioned, right? So we did 83%, which was good enough. And after this, you will have these tables of measurement, right? Just like these ones. And then you have to analyze it with the help of previously available literature, right? So how to analyze this data, it is a topic of discussion for another time. All right, to mention a last thing, which is the intra-rater reliability. You can use intra-rater reliability, which is, instead of recruiting coders, you do the coding yourself as a researcher, but to minimize the subjectivity, and I hope you know the subjectivity and objectivity in research. So to minimize the subjectivity of the researcher, you do the coding in different times. For instance, you did the coding today, and you will do the coding again after 1 month, and then again after a month or 2 or whatever. So you will do it on a different time, and then you will compare. So if you think that, again, it's the same process, just like the 3 coders. So you will compare if it is an agreement, then, but normally if you send the paper with intra-quarter reliability to a very good journal, then it's very hard to publish, because normally it's not very reliable. So people prefer to do inter-coder reliability, which is you recruit other coders, right? And they do the coding for you. And then you also do not trash all this data. You have to upload it on an online repository, which will be open for the editors of the journal, the reviewers, that they're going to review it for you, and even the readers, right? And because you have to make sure the transparency, again, objectivity in your research. If your research is not objective, these measures, these coders are employed for the only one person, which is objectivity. So if your coding process and your analysis project is not objective, then it's very difficult to publish your paper in a good journal. So we have to maintain an objectivity. Otherwise, anybody can write an opinion piece, and it will be just like a newspaper piece, and not an article, an academic research article, which is normally deemed, considered as a objective analysis. Now, if you wanna, if you have some question, I'm open to any questions.
Hello guys, do you have any question regarding this topic? Yes, please, you can raise hands so that we can give the floor one by one.
Assalamualaikum, sir. Yeah, I have already sent a message in the comment box. And
Really?
it said, yeah.
Okay, well, the table one, how exactly do we decide whether there is agreement, yes, or disagreement, no, among the coders when their coder times are close but not exactly the same?
Sorry, I couldn't find the. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just let me read. So in the table one, how exactly do we decide whether there is an agreement yes or disagreement no among the coders when their coded times are close? What do you mean by coded times are close but not exactly the same? Okay, I think I understand your question. So to go again back to our paper, I think you just all right. Okay, so as I have explained to you, this is something that has been developed by us for the first time. So we have developed this measuring airtime for the first time, and we explained it here in the methodology that if the disagreement, right, is more than 2 minutes, for example, this coder says, coder 1 says 30 minutes, and this coder say 34 minutes, it means coder 1 and coder 2 doesn't agree. But 30 minutes and 31 minutes, it means coder 1 and 2 and 3 agrees, because the difference is less than 2 minutes. You understand? So it is an overall coverage, right? So the difference, if the difference is less than 2 minutes, then it means they agree with each other. If the difference is more than 2 minutes, then they don't agree with each other, right? Yes, Anwar.
So,
Anwar.
please, another question that is, why do we need three coders instead of one coder?
Okay. Uh, as I have explained in content analysis,
Hey, Muhammad Ares. Muhammad Ares. You don't know. Outside the. Hey, sorry. So I was. Okay, yes.
all right. So his question was why we use three coders instead of one. So it is to minimize the subjectivity. If you don't know subjectivity, it means um, to minimize the biasness, right? So as a researcher, you might be biased. As a researcher, if I'm researching as a somebody from Pakistan and as a Muslim, I might be very biased if I'm looking at the Rohingya issue, right? Because you have sympathy with Rohingya people, so I might be biased, and I might, do the measurement according to my own biases. And but if you recruit coders and even three coders, it means uh, you minimize the error in the coding. Uh, not all
And I
three.
want to Canada, yeah. And I want to Canada. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, so not all three coders can be in error, right? So it minimizes error in coding and also biasness, subjectivity. So it makes the research more objective. I hope it's clear. Yes, Hafiz Rahman.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this access to ask a question. Yeah, according to this slide, why do you think TRT World has the highest number of news reports and airtime compared to other channels, sir?
All right. So I hope you're talking about this table. So this is simple. When you collect data in the data collection time, if you are doing research on, let's say, print media, then you have to collect articles, the articles that they have published, isn't it? If you are doing research on electronic media, then you have to collect the news reports, right, that they have published. And as I have mentioned, that the news reports that we have collected uh, was 110 from TRT. And when we um, um, collectively checked the airtime in of all those news reports, so it was 5 hours, right? So it's a very simple, it's just a counting, you just need to count, right? So you don't need to analyze or measure anything. I hope it was the answer of your question.
Yes, sir. Much valued your explanation. Yeah, I have another question that is, what could be the reason behind DW having the least airtime and number of reports on the Karabakh War?
Okay.
Actually, I
That's a,
made of it, sir.
yeah, no. Um, that's a good question. So there could be multiple issues, and it is the researcher. Okay, this is the analysis part actually that you are asking. Now you are analyzing that why there is a high news reports volume of TRT and why there is a very low news volume and news report from the DW. So there is also a um, a proximity effect, So if the the major conflict that is going on is affecting the country directly, either it is financially or materially or in any other way, then it is likely that the media of that region will give more coverage compared to the media that is very, very far away from conflict. And for example, the Bangladeshi media, because the refugee was coming to Bangladesh from Myanmar, so it is very logical if the Bangladeshi media gives more coverage to the refugees compared to a media of Brazil or Colombia in Latin America, right? Or in some other small Caribbean island country, because it is not affecting them directly. Moreover, there could also be ideological connection. So TRT, which is from Turkey, and Turkey has more ideological, ethnical, religious connection with Azerbaijan and the conflict that was going on. So Germany do not have a direct connection with Armenia. So this could be another issue, or this could also be another reason. So this is for the researcher to find. Okay, this is the analysis part. Then you gonna analyze this. That why? What does this data means? That's why we have discussion part in our thesis or research articles.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I have questions.
Yeah.
How is a code important in managing methodology? This is my first question.